Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia, chapter 288. And yeah, I'm sorry this one is as late as it is, guys. In terms, it's just that pretty much today has been a little bit off. Like it's been just pretty much one of those days. But yeah, but let's get into the chapter. My Hero Academia, chapter 288. And if there's one thing, and honestly, if there's one thing I believe that this chapter truly cemented in stone is just how much Horikoshi loves writing villains. I mean, this isn't really too much of a shock or really anything new, as Horikoshi has proven this to be his greatest strength from the beginning of the series to very early on. But like I think ever since like pretty much Stain is where it truly showed that yeah, the man loves writing villains. But to the degree and level of emotional detail to which he makes us care for the villains is so goddamn insane. Like this chapter is just a perfect representation of every kind of strength that Horikoshi has when from writing villains. It's I don't think I'm really kind of exaggerating when I say that when it comes to Horikoshi and his ability to write villains, it kind of his ability to write villains outshines the writing he does for our main heroes. Like I'm if this whole arc has improved, if this back half of the series has improved anything, it's just how much he kind of it's just how much our main heroes have the writing for our main heroes has kind of been outshined by the writing for the villains has kind of outshined the villains at this kind of outshines the heroes, sorry, at this point. And it and at this juncture he's taken it to such a level where it's kind like at this juncture with everything that's gone on, it's kind of hard to really call anyone a hero or a villain in this. Like they're really just people in a conflict. And I'm not just talking about Toga here because and trust me, I'm not just talking about Toga here because with Spinner's words to her about the league, what the league means, and how he's basically telling Toga to come back to them, that pretty much shows for as evil or as immoral as we may perceive the League's actions, they still have a greater sense of camaraderie than our heroes do. Like, for God's sakes, this chapter just said, yeah, this chapter just pretty much said, yeah, they're pretty much bad guys. But guess what? You fucking feel you fucking feel for them. You fucking feel their friendship, their camaraderie. They like honestly, they have a better close knit they have a better a close knit kind of dynamic with each other than even our main heroes do. It's actually kind of nuts, and in fact, I go so far as to say that the League at this point isn't even just like a band of villains anymore. It's a family, and and going back to Toga here, that's what that's what that's pretty much what pretty much Toga that's pretty much what Toga wants to protect now, because that's pretty much what pretty much Toga wants to protect with this in this chapter. She pretty much lost a member of her family in twice, and going forward, that's all she wants to protect, her family. The League is her family, and it's all that she has left, and she wants to make sure that family isn't taken away or killed right in front of her. Like what happened to Twice, she fears that's going to happen to the rest of them. It's oh my god. Yeah, I'm sorry if I sound a little rantish. It's just if this what Horikoshi has done with the villains, it truly is kind of incredible, honestly. Um, and on the flip side of that, however, the chapter also showcases something I feel that has largely been kind of missing from the arc, which is seeing heroes save people, or in this case, through the perspective of Ochaco and Suyu, which is good to establish that, yeah, that they pretty much still do that they still do prioritize saving people over fighting the villains. But the thing is, but the thing is, even though a lot of what we see Ochako and Tsuyu doing in this chapter is reflected in Ochako's answer to Toga when they confront each other, I think Ochako was also a little hasty in her response as well. And granted, that's largely because Ochako doesn't know the circumstances of why Toga attacked her, but or basically or why she's or why Toga is even confronting Ochako to begin with, or why she's asking her this. But at the same time, with pretty much the answer that Ochako gave, she pretty much kind of granted Toga permission to basically throw what happened to Twice right back at her with that response. Like, if you really think, like, Ochako's answer wasn't necessarily wrong, but at the same when she said that she's only here to save people, but at the same time, it went by saying that if Toga gets in her way, she'll stop her. It pretty much gives Toga full permission to just again throw Twice back in her face, because it's because really what Ochako just described there is kind of what happened to Twice in a lot of ways, and between the way the way I described this dynamic just now between the two of them in this chapter is kind of the perfect encapsulation of what has created this hero-villain dynamic. It's one giant misunderstanding of each other without ever taking the time to realize the mistakes that have been made and just have a simple discussion. And I know it sounds a little out there and maybe a little unrealistic in this world that's being created, but maybe by just sitting down, having a conversation, maybe by just having a simple conversation, it will actually give each other perspective on how society can actually move forward, legitimately move forward without sweeping anything under the rug, and make the necessary changes to actually move forward. Like this in some ways is, I think in some ways that this is the first step that Ochako is going to make to realizing that, yeah, something in the society is severely fucked up. So yeah, I'm all here for that too. And yeah, now if I did have any problems with this chapter for me, is that there were times where the pacing felt almost breakneck fast. Like there should have been one or two more scenes in between other scenes, and not something that's not really helped either by the fact that one page is basically that one of the pages in this chapter is a full page spread. But yeah, this is one of those chapters where you blink, where you practically blink and the chapter's over. Like it does feel like. It does feel like, even though the chapter itself is 17 pages, it feels more like the pacing of it almost feels more like 10 or 12 or something like that, and I think that also comes from the fact that I think I also wanted a little more of Sue in this chapter as well, even before Ochako goes rushing off to confront Toga, because she really just has one moment, but I'm sure we'll get to see more of her in the next couple chapters, and Sue is bound to like wonder what the hell happened to Ochako. So I think we're gonna throw Sue you into this as well at some point. But for now, taking all that aside, one thing I'll be interested to see is how Toga's feelings for Ochako are going to be addressed in this chapter, because if you haven't caught it before, Toga is legit in love with Ochako. Like that's kind of one of the things that's I think kind of drives her, is that she does have a legitimate crush on Ochako, I think. So yeah, it should be interesting to see how that's addressed as well. But yeah, like again, what else can I say? Like this was another great chapter with some great villain writing, and I think what really kind of cements this chapter of why I kind of like this particular villain writing over maybe even some of the other moments that have that about Horikoshi's great villain writing is because of how intimate this particular chapter was. Like, it kept it very intimate between Ochako and Toga, and I think by doing that, that's pretty much where Horikoshi's writing of his villains really shined, I think. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Mr. Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Enemy, signing off. Later, guys.